the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Bastards, as they bring you their 6th annual Kings Royal event. We have already had 2 nights of spectacular racing action, and in the booth here with me tonight is someone who is going to help get me caught up on what went down on those 2 nights. It is none other than the most experienced driver, the most experienced broadcaster, the most beautiful person I have ever known in my life. That is none other than Ultimate Dirt TV, Brett Wheeler. How you doing, sir?
Good, buddy. Good to be back. Night number 3. I tell you what, let's get caught up over the first 2 nights of racing. Night 1, 30-lap Jokers Wild. Mason Hannigan took the win in what was a green-white checker. We had 23, 24 green flag laps to start off with, but it was Mason Hannigan to come away with the win by 0.025 of a second over Aidan Beeline. Trevor Royer came home 3rd. And then last night, it was the night before the Kings Royal, Alex Zazinski. He was dominating since the drop of the green flag in that main event. And he picked up the win from Vinny Sansone and Chad Griggs to come home in position number 3. So, tell you what, KR, we've had a wonderful 2 nights. We've had, of course, the Jokers Wild a couple of nights ago. Last night, the night before the Kings Royal. But tonight is the big one. The Kings Royal, the 6th annual running of the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal, presented by Natural Carbon Company. And boy, tell you what, I'm looking forward to this one.
I'll tell you what, I have been looking forward to this since Chris Roberts, the head honcho at Dirty Old Bastards, reached out to me and said, hey, what's your schedule? I said, for you, anything, baby. And here we are at Eldora for the 6th annual Kings Royal. It is the final night to wrap this one up. As you said, we had the night before, we had the Joker's Wild, but here we go. We are getting ready to roll into qualifying for tonight's King Royal. So Brett, man, I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since we shared the microphone. So if we get a little weird, ladies and gentlemen, just know it's been a long time coming.
It has been a long time coming. Hey, just as well with the qualifying. After the qualifying, there will be an inversion. The quickest qualifier, and over the last 2 nights, it's been Aiden Beeline who has been the man to beat when it comes to putting their machine up on top of this the qualifying standings. Again, the inversion numbers are either going to be 0, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. I can tell you the last 2 nights we've had an inversion of 7 and 8 was last night. So I mean, who knows what we're gonna get thrown here tonight. Wouldn't you just love just to see a full field inversion of 10 cars just to make those faster guys come from the back and really just shake things up in the 6th annual running of the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal?
You gotta hope that when they're doing that shake up, the inversion, that the track is maybe blown off just a little bit, because if it's hammered down, those tracks are hard to be fast in or faster than someone else when everyone's running wide open.
Yeah, look, the track on Tuesday, I just had to think what night we're on. Tuesday night, the track was pretty slick. Last night was a little different to what we've seen on the Joker's Wild night, but again, we had, I think we're getting close to 40 cars signed into the virtual pit area here for tonight. So with the track slickening off and with the track holding the moisture, they don't reset the track. So how you race on it is how it progresses throughout the course of the night, and it's only going to get slicker as the more laps that get turned on it. And with it being slicker, it's going to be right up against the fence. Who knows? The middle line might come back in. Who knows? We might even just see the bottom line come back in as well.
All right, so qualifying going to come up here in just a moment. So far, the track is quiet. Brett, for you, in these moments, for me, and let me start over. For me, in these moments, it's a chance to catch your breath, but there's a lot of anticipation. For you, what do you feel in these situations?
Well, if I'm in the car, I'm nervous because this is basically what is going to set you know, up for right now as we set up here in the commentary box. Again, nervous to see what we're going to see here tonight, but also excited at the same time because, you know, what I've seen in the last couple of nights at this racetrack and with this new build that we're seeing with the tire wear coming into play, and we've seen it come into play on Tuesday night where Mason Hannigan picked up the win. Yeah, John Batista was lightning quick in that feature event. He was trying to run down Aiden Beeline. Beeline actually had a 3-second lead at one stage. It was only the fact that, like I said, we got a couple of late cautions that allowed Mason Hannigan with the tire wear to take that one away. But, you know, you've got nervous, you're excited, and you know what? It's been a long, not so much a long 2 nights, but, you know, it's been a long week for some of these drivers. You know, to come out here 3 nights in a row to get that elusive 6th annual Kings Royal win. I mean, all you have to do is just you look at the names in the server course, so we can see the current and defending iRacing World Champion sprint car driver Tyler Schell. You know, we look at a man that has won multiple 410 sprint car world championships. Alex Bergeron is in the house here tonight. A lot of the Black Diamond guys are here tonight, but not only that, with that, you've got 3 Kings Royal winners. King John Batista the first. He's in attendance here tonight. Ernie Williams Jr., King Ernie the 4th, he's in the house tonight. And Mason Hannigan, who last year actually swept the Joker's Wild the night before the Kings Royal, and he won the Kings Royal, so he's the Kings Royal. He's King Mason the 5th. He's looking to go back-to-back, and in the 5 Kings Royal that Dirty Old Bastards have had, we've not had 1 repeat winner, and with 3 of those winners already in the Kings Royal, they're in attendance here tonight. So you've got 3 drivers that are looking to become the first 2-time Kings Royal winner.
Ooh. Can you imagine winning this race twice?
I can't even imagine racing in it, let alone winning it.
Well, first of all, we could honestly race in it, right? But to make the A main, let's just say we would have to call in a few provisionals.
Yeah, certainly would. All right, can tell you right now. So the way that the qualifying order is going to go now, we're going to have Group 4, which is first up, which is in fact Jack Young, and he's already on the racetrack. So if we take a look at Jack Young, he will be the first car to go in and lay down a lap time, and then we will of course bring you the standings and lap by lap situation for these drivers. So Jack Young, in fact, has just done a lap time of a 13.505 as Brian Moore Jr. is on the racetrack.
All right, here we go. Qualifying is underway as the 10 pulls on to pit road. And you talked about it. We already have a few drivers rolling out for qualifying. And Brian Moore Jr. in the 09 digging hard. Right now, he has the quick time in that 09. And he is going to shut it down and get it done here for the moment.
Next car onto the racing surface in that SRC, car number 55B, that is Brian Moore Sr. Brian Moore Sr. in car number 55C with the third car, but the first car in what is group number 2. So his first lap time, second quick with a 13.376, a 13.376 for Brian Moore Sr. Lap number 2 coming across the start finish line now. Will it be quicker? It is going to be a 13.287, 13.287.
All right, so not quite getting the fast time that he would like as Brian Moore on top of the charts. We have another driver out on the speedway.
Cody Terry.
Yeah, Cody Terry in the 9 from the, what is that, the Tim Sims stable, so to speak? That's where Cody Terry usually hails from, and Cody Terry finds himself with a 13.28 in second place.
Gary Offit in car number 94, the GoPro number 94 car of Gary Offit, also driving the SRC GoPro entry. Lap number 1 for Gary Offit is going to be fourth quick with a 13.445, a 13.445, finished 13th in your night before the King's Royal main event last night as Gary Offit. Second lap is going to be a little slow with a 13.542. Alex Zazinski, KR, is on the racetrack.
Zazinski, who picked up a win earlier this week, now finds himself trying to put in that quick time. He has to beat a 13.27 as the 23 rolls across the start-finish line. A 13.21 quick time out of the 23, Alex Zazinski. Across the start-finish line for his second lap. He shuts it down, does not improve, so we stay at a 13.21. Joshua Piquel out on the speedway.
Piquel in that Methanol Mafia production design metal art, car number 33. He was already claiming that it is King Pickle. King Pickle the 6. Joshua Pickle or Piquel in fifth quick, 13.403. That's fifth quick. Finished 7th in the Joker's Wild on night number 1 and finished 6th last night. So a pair of top 10 finishes in the 2 main events as Joshua Piquel. Second lap is not going to count, but 13.403 will be the first lap time.
Jeffrey Try Jr. out on the speedway in the 39. Driver up off of turn number 4, and now the green flag is out, or I should say his first lap is in the books at a 13.44. So the 39 of Jeffrey Try Jr. off of turn number 4 once again. Can he improve? And he stays at a 13.44. He's a little bit slower on his second lap.
Ryan Sheet rolling out in the Black Diamond Motorsports Velocity Racer Zone. Totally tinted ultimate dirt to beat Tim Sims. Car number 10. 14th in the Joker's Wild on night number 1 of your 6th annual running of the Dirty Old Bastards King's Royal. Ryan Sheet. Quick time! 13.138. A 13.138 for Ryan Sheet. As lap number 2, will it be quicker again? Yes, it will, with a 12.971. And out rolls Alex Bergeron, KR. This is going to be one man to watch tonight.
Alex Bergeron in the 12 out on the speedway. He is one of the heavy favorites for the race here tonight. And as he goes across the start-finish line, Bergeron in the second place. Can he improve on that lap time? He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to catch Ryan Scheidt. Here he comes off of turn number 4. Alex Bergeron does not improve just a little bit, but does not pass Ryan Scheidt. Now we move on to Mason Hannigan.
Yeah, the defending champion of the King's Royal winner. He picked up last year's running of the King's Royal from the Derby Old Bastards. It is the Little Hurricane, known as King Mason the 5th, as lap number 1 is not going to count as he had contact with the backstretch wall, so he'll have one opportunity driving the Black Diamond Motorsports Velocity Race Designs Ultimate Dirt TV Car number 1X. Lap time for Mason Hannigan, third quick with a 13.133. A 13.133 as Michael Sheridan makes his way onto the racing surface.
Master Sheridan out on the speedway, the 15, finds himself trying to run that high side. Things looking very good for the 15, and he goes across the start-finish line at a 13.57. And I think this one is lying in the weeds just a little bit as he crosses the start-finish line once again and up into 4th place. That was a huge jump from the last lap to the first lap, or from the first lap to the last lap. I'll say it right sooner or later. Hey, Aiden Berline's on the track.
Yeah, Aiden Berline in car number 13A. He has been the man to beat when it comes to the fastest qualifier over the past 2 nights in the Junkers Wild and the night before the King's Royal. What can he do? Lap number 1, 9th quick, 13.383, finished 2nd in the Junkers Wild, and then last night and the night before the King's Royal, ended up coming home in 5th position. Second lap time, 13. It'll be third quick, 13.077. As a 13.077 as Ernie Williams Jr. makes his way on the racetrack.
Whiskers is out on the speedway, and the number 91 trying to figure out if he can lay down a better lap time than Ryan Scheidt, who has the top spot for the month. First time across the start-finish line, Ernie Williams Jr. in the 91 lays down a 13.16, and that is going to do it for him. He is done after 1 lap.
So that will conclude group number 2 of qualifying, meaning we've got 2 groups left of qualifying, and I can tell you we are waiting on the next car to roll out onto the racetrack, which should be the 27 car. In fact, no, it won't be. I'll tell you it will be. It should be John Bradman or Tyler Schell.
Tyler Schell on the speedway.
No, Tyler Schell is on the racetrack. I actually decided to go with a different group, but Tyler Schell, your current iRacing World Champion for the 410 Sprint Cars, 14th quick, 13.451 contact with the wall, so he will not get a second time lap in. So Tyler Schell is going to be scored 14th quick. And KR, he's going to have to hope that he gets a decent inversion.
Yeah, he just buried himself deep in this field in this qualifying run. Larry Moody, the next truck on the field, the next race car on the speedway, that 73 machine, he is finding himself ahead of a iRacing champion, Larry Moody, with a quick time of 13.32 for himself. Oh man, he almost tagged the wall there and does improve at a 13.17. 13.17 for Larry Moody. Scott Thomason on the speedway.
Scott Thomason in car number 6. Finished 15th in the Jokers Wild on night number 1, and last night in the night before the King's Royal ended up with a 19th place finish. So a pair of top 20 finishes for Scott Thomason, 12th quick with a 13.306, 13.306. For Scott Thomason, will he improve on lap number 2? Yes, he will with a 13. He'll go 6 quick, 13.155. A 13.155 as Kyle Stoltz makes his way onto the racing surface.
Stoltz on the speedway in that country time 01. Stoltz across the line, and he finds himself in 13th place with a 13.34 Stoltz. And once again, off of turn number 4, and he is not going to improve. A 13.36 for a second lap time. Randy Shreves getting up to speed.
Randy Shreves last night in the night before the Kings Royal in car number 56 for LGR Motorsports Redline Designs. Finished 10th in last night's last chance qualifier. Lap number 1 for Randy Shreves is going to be 13.721. 13.721. That'll put him 19th quick. 19th quick for Randy Shreves. Should improve considerably here on lap number 2. Does so. He goes with a 13. In fact, he's going to have contact with the wall, so in fact will stay 19th quick with a 13.721 as Richie Preston makes his way over the racetrack.
Richie Preston in the 25. How is he going to overcome this track starting to slick up? Can he make something happen with a 13.26 for his first lap? Richie Preston now through 3 and 4 for his final time here in qualifying. Almost with a good run off the corner, but a big shove there, slowed him down just a little bit. I wonder if he could have not hit pole with a better corner through 3 and 4, but a 13.13 for Richie Preston. And now it is to the first DOB Kings Royal champion.
That would be King John the First, John Batista, driving the Black Diamond Motorsports Velocity Race Design. 16th quick, 13.410. 13.410, had contact with the wall on the back straightaways, so that'll take him out of contention. Finished 4th on the Joker's Wild Night, but our goals there, that he was considerably fast in the Joker's Wild, and that is the Swindell Speedway car number 74 car of Adam Elby.
Adam Elby out on the speedway. Can he set a time faster than Ryan Scheit? 12.97 is the goal. Adam Elby at a 13.17 on his first lap. Through 3 and 4, he took a very different line than everyone else, and Elby in that number 74 goes up into 3rd place, a 13.08. So a good run from Adam Elby. And now we move on to FDS.
I believe that'll be David Smill Jr. in car number 72. The turn 2 Turbos entry finished 9th in the Joker's Wild on night number 1, and then last night, the night before, the Kings Royal, 24th in last night's main event, 12th quick, 13.232. 13.232. That'll put 12th quick. Getting last second lap is going to be not any quicker, as we see Josh Whiteman now in car number 24. Had a bit of bad luck towards the end of last night's main event, but he's on the racetrack.
The 24 is out on the speedway. He's going to stay high, wide, and handsome. Not quite as good looking as Brent Wheeler, but the 24 across the line makes a 13.40, good enough for 17th place. This time he is through the middle of 3 and 4, and the 24 across the line, and Whiteman improves with a 13.18. Darren Detweiler in the 3D out on the speedway.
Last car in group number 1 before we get into the final group of qualifying here. Detweiler, first lap time is going to be 14th quick with a 13.235. 13.235, and he will stay 14th quick regardless of what happens on this lap, because no time will be taken, and it is going to be slower as we get to the final group of qualifying. And out rolls the 27 car of Chad Griggs.
Chad Griggs out on the speedway, and he is in his qualifying time on the throttle and trying to rip it as hard as he can up to the high side through 3 and 4. Drops it down on the exit, across the line, and Griggs with a 13.26. 13.26 for Chad Griggs. This time he really arcs the corner. Oh, bit of a trouble there in the middle of the corner, but it does not slow him down too much as he improves into 8th place with a 13.14. William Peters in the 85 on the speedway.
And William Peters in car number 85. First lap time coming through for William Peters is going to be 25th quick with a 13.477. 13.477. You're looking at roughly about half a second separating your field here tonight, as lap number 2 is going to be a little slower there for William Peters. And now rolls a big bearded brother from another mother of Nathan Davis.
Dude, I'll tell you what, this beard is as epic as his driving talent. The 36 makes his way to the start-finish line for his first qualifying lap. Nathan Davis up into 16th place with a 13.26 through 3 and 4. That corner starting to slick off just a little bit. You can hear these guys feathering the throttle as they hit that spot. And Nathan Davis going to stay at a 13.26 in 16th spot. Trevor Royer in the 90 out on the speedway.
From the Black Diamond Motorsports, Tim Sims, Drew Neal, 19 Designs, Ultimate Dirt TV, finished third in the Joker's Wild in night number 1. Trevor Royer, 13.490, 27th quick. 27th quick for Trevor Royer, a 13.490. Looking to improve, will improve, should jump up to about the 16th or 17th spot. In fact, it'll be 18th with a 13.274 as Chris Fritz rolls on to the raceway.
Fritz out on the speedway in the 65. Is going to roll through 3 and 4, looking very straight. That 65 has some speed right now. His opening lap at a 13.30. Can he make it work and get inside the top 10? Drops down to the bottom here through 3 and 4. Up off the line, Chris Fritz with a 13.30, his solid time on lap 1 for him. Tyler Isley, the next one on the speedway.
Yeah, Caliber 17, the rockin' K-Bar B branch, embroidery designs. Should not be a lap time for lap number 1. It was a 14.312, so no time taken for Tyler Isley in Caliber 17. And it'll be no time taken as he catches the inside wall. So not the start that Tyler Isley needed, but now out rolls the 518 machine of Joseph Grandy.
Grandy on the speedway in the 518. Down the back stretch here at Eldora, the Big E. How will it treat Grandy? And he goes across the start-finish line. His first lap time of a 13.30. Grandy now has to make up a little bit as he's 22nd. Can he make it work this time around? And Grandy on the start-finish line finds himself up into the running order, up into 13th, a 13.21. Vinny Sansone, the next driver, up the speed.
Vinny Sansone, cut at 80 last night in the night before the King's Royal, finished in position number 2. And on Joker's Wild Night, for night 1 of this 3-night week, the Dirty Old Bastards King's Royal finished 12th in that one. 28th quick at the moment for lap number 1 with a 13.450. 28th quick, looking to improve considerably. It does so, and he will jump to position number 5 with a 13.128 for Vinny Sansone as Zach McLaughlin makes his way onto the racetrack.
Vinny Sansone, the highest qualifier from this group, so still showing some speed in this track. What can Zach McLaughlin do with it now that he knows that Vinny is up into 5th place? McLaughlin into the wall, hard tag, a 13.52 his first time around. This second one, I don't think that one's going to count because he got into the wall. And so Zach McLaughlin, 32nd on the speed chart. Spencer Putney in the Speedway qualifying charts right now.
Putney in Caliber 17S, Jonathan Earthworks entry. First time we're seeing him here this week, so we'll see where Putney can go. Lap number 1, 13.414, 27th quick, 13.414 as he gets into the wall. Okay, it's something we're seeing in the last group. Basically, a lot of drivers just getting over that cushion, getting into the wall, and of course, basically no one voiding their second lap times.
Yeah, they are absolutely trying to drive as hard as they can to get into Just as much speed as that first group had, but when you're this far down the running order, qualifying gets harder and harder because that track gets used up. But man, you got to give them props for trying.
Absolutely. Hey, one thing to note as well tonight, over the last couple of nights in Joker's Wild Night and night before the King's Royal, we've had a dash in the warm-up session. Can confirm that there is no dash here tonight. However, the 4 heat race winners, they will be inverted. So what that means, the winner of heat race number 1, let's just say your 4 fastest qualifiers, let's say there's no invert for the heats, let's say they win their heat races. It would be Ryan Sheet. If he wins heat race number 1, he will start position number 4 in the main event. The winner of heat race number 2 will start position number 3 in the main event. The winner of heat race number 3 will start outside the front row on the main event, and heat race number 4 winner will start on pole for that all-important 41 lap main event. And now, the reason why I say 41 is because we've added an extra lap to the heat races and the main event, just in case of any issues encountered on that first lap. So we've seen 10 lap heat races. They are now going to be 11. I don't think we're going to see a C main. It should just roll straight into what will be a about a 22 car field. So what have we got? In fact, we might have a C main. So the C main is going to be 12 laps.
Yeah,
so let me do the math on this one. Ready?
Well,
so
yeah, I'll let you do the math, because while you're doing math, I gotta do this. That is a cold, tasty beverage.
Yep, I thought I heard that one. Just quickly, so heat race inversion is going to be 5. The heat race inversion is going to be 5. So,
5?
what that means?
Is that?
Yep.
Is that how many fingers I have on one hand?
And how many's on the other?
6.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can always go with that one.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, here we go. Heat race number 1, lining up and on the inside of row number 1, your quick time qualifier. That is none other than Ryan Scheit, to his outside in that very recognizable orange and blue number 80. That is Vinny Sansone. Row number 2 going to be made up by the driver of the 27. That is Chad Griggs. Josh Whiteman to his outside. Darren Detweiler in the 3D, and Cody Terry in the number 9 for row number 3. Row 4, Joshua Piquel and Gary Offit in the outside of row number 4. Row number 5, Zach McLaughlin and Tyler Isley. And that is our first heat race of the night.
So what that means as well, guys, like we said, we've just gone through the starting grid. So with the inversion of 5, that'll actually put Darren Detweiler on the pole position to the outside of the front row with Josh Whiteman. Chad Griggs will stay in position number 3. Vinny Sansone will go to position number 4, and Ryan Scheit will go back to the inside of the 3rd row from position number 5 as we get the Wonder Green signal right now. KR, it is about time that the 6th annual running of the Dirty Old Bastards King's Royal, presented by Neutral Carbon Company, we're about to go racing here in heat race number 1. It's been a fantastic week so far. I'm sure we're going to see some fantastic heat races. 11 laps on the board, top 4 to the main event.
All right, so Double D on the inside for this start. Darren Detweiler looking for that moment to stab the throttle, and he has a long moment here as the green flag comes out. We are going to use that extra lap right here. That was something you talked about. Should have paid more attention to it.
You know what? It happens. It happens. Sometimes
it happens.
You just.
I was all set to go racing, and I'll tell you what. This is what's going to happen. I was ready to go racing last lap, but this lap I'm probably going to fall asleep on the start because I mean, it's Darren Detweiler. Let's be honest. He's going to find a way to park it somewhere illegally. As the green flag comes out, we are underway.
First thing race of the night, oh, the dirty old bastard, 6 only running in the King's Royal. Look at Josh Wyman in the 24, making the intentions very clear very early on. However, Chad Griggs, Ryan Shite to the inside on Wyman as they work off turn number 4 and down the front stretch. 3 wide into 1 and 2, Sanso makes his way to the inside, Wyman into the wall.
One driver hard into the wall, but they stay green. But now the yellow flag does come out because of that. And so as we're on board with Darren Duttweiler and the field going to stack up, let's see if I can figure out what happened to look like Cody Terry in the 9. Maybe has that trouble trying to make the corner there. And this is what's going to bring out the yellow. Try and figure out what happened just a little bit more.
Well, that's what I've seen as well. Cody Terry just caught the wall in turn of 1 and 2, and he went down the back straight away, and the car literally just would not turn, and well, he pulled it up on the front stretch, and unfortunately brings out the caution. But you know what? That'll give us another opportunity to get this race restarted here in 2 laps. So wait for the lights to go out on the racing.com official pace track. Detweiler is your race leader. Yep, upside number 4. The walls don't move and he cannot park on the racetrack. Let's see if he listens. But how about Chad Griggs? Hard charger in the Joker's Wild on night number 1. 22nd to 11th plus 11 positions. And then last night came home with a 3rd place finish in the night before the King's Royal. So he's shown a good form of speed in the last couple of nights. Let's see if he can get it done here in heat race number 1.
So with Cody Terry off of the speedway, Darren Detweiler in the 3D, Chad Griggs in the 27, single file restart. Here we go. Green flag is back out and away we go once again.
Well, I tell you what, Griggs all over the back of Detweiler as they work down the back straight away. Detweiler going to protect that middle part of the racing surface into turn 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Ryan Sheet now to the inside on Josh Wyman, but you've got a new leader down into 1 and 2. It'll be Griggs. He'll slide up in front of Detweiler. Can Detweiler turn it back underneath him? Yes, they do. A little contact down into turn number 3. Here comes Ryan Sheet, your fastest qualifier. 3-1 off turn number 4 for the race lead.
All trouble as they all make contact. 3-4 cars get involved. They hold on to it for the moment. The 3D continues on, but the yellow flag is out. And holy cow, did they all try to stuff it into turn number 1, and everything went wrong from there.
3-1 does not go, but boy, I tell you what, didn't they try? Just a case of, well, just running out of real estate into 1. Ryan Shite going to be the biggest loser out of that one as he'll go back to the pit. So after taking out the fastest qualifier in tonight's qualifying, you see Josh White went down to the pits as well in that 24. He just got it. Now you've got to ask the question, how much damage is on that number 3D machine of Darren Detweiler, and can the 27 of Griggs, can he get around him for a second time? As the light's still flashing here on the racing.com page track. So 2 to green for Detweiler, but Griggs is there. And don't count out Vinny Sansone as well.
Hey guys, do want to take this moment to give a shout out to our sponsors here tonight. Natural Carbon is one of the huge supporters for this race, and of course Design Metal Art, check them out as well. There are links down in the broadcast description here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Brent, we're doing a dual stream here, so how do you have yours set up?
I've got my logos rotating up on the top right. We've got, like I said, you got Dirty Old Bastard, you've got Design Metal Art, and Natural Carbon Company as well. So again, guys, if you're watching on UD TV, check out Turn 3 Racing Network on YouTube. They are live as well. Just same commentary box, but different views. We'll try and keep the same views as much as we can. Heat race number 1 getting set to fire back underway with 5 laps left to go. Detweiler once again will lead us down the front straightaway. Old Chad Griggs again. He's been a man on a mission in the last 2 nights. He'll go to the outside. Griggs, the junior race leader, but T1 Detweiler fights back in the middle of turn number 3 and 4. Who will lead it? Give it to Chad Griggs at the line. Now Vinny Sansone down to the inside.
Vinny Sansone says, y'all can do whatever you want on the high side. I'm going to run steady, smooth, and consistent on the bottom, and he moves into second place. Now he has a challenger, the 33 of Joshua Piquel, working to the inside. Here we go once again. We're coming up on 2 laps to go. Chad Griggs, your race leader.
Detweiler, Whiteman, Piquel all battling for that 3rd, 4th and 5th position. Remember, top 4 go right into the main event. Everybody else, 5th on back, will be headed to a B and the C main. 1 lap left to go for your race leader of Chad Griggs. 3rd in last night's main event. Boy, I tell you what, here comes Piquel to the outside. He's got 4th out into turn number 3. Checkered flag is out. Chad Griggs will win heat race number 1. Vinny Sansone home in 2nd. 3rd will be Josh Whiteman. And 4th is going to be Joshua Piquel as heat number 1 is done. 5th on back will be Darren Detweiler, Zach McLaughlin in 6th, Ryan Scheid 7th, Tyler Isley, Gary Offit, and Cody Terry will be the 10 cars in heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 up next.
All right, we're rolling into heat race number 2. Keep in mind there is an invert. Well, these drivers that are forming up in pit lane, they're going to have to shuffle around. And so with that being said, Brett, can you do the math of the 5-car invert?
Yeah, absolutely. Easy. Starting on pole with the Black Number Motorsports car number 36 car of Nathan Davis. He's outside from position number 2, Joseph Grandy. From position number 3 with the 6 car of Scott Thomason. From position number 4 with the 25 car of Richie Preston. From position number 5 with the 12 of Alex Bergeron. From position number 6 is Brian Moore Sr. From position number 7, John Batista. And out of position number 8, it's Tyler Shell. What a 4th row that is going to be. John Bragman will line up alongside Taylor Weiland in that 9th and 10th position. They are Bergeron comes from position number 5, but how about that 4th row? King John I, John Batista, along with Tyler Shell.
I'll tell you what, John Batista is one of my favorite drivers to watch here in iRacing because he does a great job at coming through the field. No matter what happens, he finds a way to squeeze through and make something happen. So we will keep an eye on that 54 of John Batista, but watch out. That 36 and Nathan Davis on the front row, he might have something to say about this one here to lock himself into tonight's A main as we go around one more time. Elbows up on the back row. Not gonna stay that way for long.
Yeah, there is some serious speed in heat race number 2. I mean, there's no real easy heat race here in the King's Draw, but I tell you what, when you got Nathan Davis on pole position again, he was quietly confident. Richie Preston, who has pretty much had a bag of top 10 finishes so far in the opening 2 nights. What can he do in heat race number 2? Can he lock himself in? 4 of these 9 drivers will find themselves in the main event directly. Other than that, everybody else will go through the last chance qualifier. Joseph Grandy into the wall. John Batista already up to position number 4, moving Richie Preston back to 5.
Richie Preston, oh, big moment right there as they came off of turn number 4. They managed to make it work. And holy cow, they make their way down the backstretch. This one already in the hands of the 36 and Nathan Davis. And you better have a hoe out to get some work done because that 36 is not going to give up the race lead very early.
That'll be caught on Alex Bergeron, just stuffed himself into the fence in turn 1 and 2, and he loses 3 positions. Now he goes back to position number 5, so he's on the outside looking in as Richie Preston makes a mistake. And now here comes Tyler Shell, a couple of iRacing 410 Sprint Car World Champions going at it for the 4th and final transfer position. Bergeron has it at the line from, Bergeron has it from Tyler Shell Meanwhile, there was a challenge up for the race lead. Scott Thomason, who on night one of the Joker's Wild, finished third in the B main. He was actually leading the B main before he got penalised. But now here comes John Batista up to position number 2.
Batista working that right rear tire as hard as he can. He is in the middle of the racetrack. Nathan Davis up on the high side, and Scott Thomason in the 6th, finding himself in 3rd. Here comes a 4th car to try and make something happen. That is Alex Bergeron. He is closing in very quickly. 3 laps to go. How is this one going to play out?
Who knows? Bergeron might even just win this one. Bergeron down to the inside. Slide top 2 for the price of 1. Now Batista goes back to the inside. And just as that happens, a yellow comes out. And that might put Bergeron even as far back as position number 3 or 4. Nathan Davis was running 3rd as they were coming out of turn 4. And because we go back, KR, to the last recorded lap, that puts Nathan Davis back in the race lead from John Batista. And then it looks like it'll be Alex Bergeron, Scott Thomason. And then you go back to Tyler Shell in 5th position, Richie Preston, Brian Moore Sr. But I think that yellow comes out courtesy of the 17 car of John Bragman.
Bragman pulling it on to pit road. Let's see if we can back this up and see what happened to the driver of the 17. Looks like he gets into the wall all by himself and then can't get it shut down. Maybe the throttle hung up, but because of how slow he was going on the inside, the yellow flag had to come out.
Yeah, and this is where you can't really fault the drivers. You know, with those single car stuff, you know, they try and do what they can. It almost started to look like it ran out of fuel for some reason.
Well, when you're trying to run things as close as possible, and you have at least one caution, maybe you misjudge.
Well, only one way to find out is to go to the source himself. But right now, we'll let him sort those issues out in that 17 car. He'll be coming back for one of either a C or a B main. That's the safety car is about to pull infield. 2 laps left to run. Can Nathan Davis get the winners? John Batista hot on the heels in that 54 machine, ready to fire back underway. Green flag is back out, and the Bearded Warrior will lead the field down into turn number 1 and 2. Bergeron throws a slider off Batista. Batista now fights back at him down the inside, down into turn number 3 and 4. Bergeron tries to shut the door. White flag is out for Nathan Davis.
Nathan Davis has to go around one more time, but he does have a hard charger. Bergeron into the wall. That's going to slow him down. Nathan Davis to the bottom through 3 and 4. Nathan Davis is going to win heat race number 2.
Ooh. Oh my. What a heat race we just seen. Nathan Davis with that yellow coming out just before they got to 2 to green. He gets given back the race lead. He comes away victorious. John Batista home in 2nd. Alex Bergeron 3rd. Tyler Shell gets the 4th and final transfer position. Scott Thomason will be going to a B, along with Richie Preston, Brian Moore Sr., John Bragman, Joseph Grady, and Taylor Wineland did not make the start for heat number 2. As we get ready for heat race number 3, you want me to go through it?
Absolutely. You're better at math than I am.
All right, Brian Moore Jr. will start the 09 machine from position number 1. Position number 2 will be the 23 car of Alex Zazinski, and the winner of the night before, the King's Royal. King Ernie the 4th, Ernie Williams Jr. will roll off at a position number 3, and the defending King's Royal champion of Mason Hannigan, King Mason the 5th, will start from position number 4. Driving the Swindell Speed Lab, car number 74, Adam Elby from position number 5. From position number 6 and with the 65 car of Chris Fritton inside the 4th row. In position number 7 with the 17S of Spencer Putney, and who is outside the 85 of William Peters out of position number 8. And you go back to the 4th and final row for heat race number 3. It'll be the 56 car of Randy Shreves to fill up the 9 cars in heat race number 3.
All right, so the lights go out on the Silverado. We're going to have to go around one more time with the 09, that beautiful yellow 09 of Brian Moore on the front row for this start. Sierczynski in the 23 already has a win on this week here at Eldora. What can he make happen here from the outside lane? As we go around one more time. Brett, I'll tell you what, the racing here with DOB, with this new dirt update, with everything that is happening, I feel like dirt's back in a big way, man.
Absolutely. I said that after probably the first 2 or 3 shows. Dirt, with the refresher on what we've had and what we've been given by iRacing here on the service, with their adjustments, dirt is coming back in a big way. Whether you're a late model guy, whether you're a sprint car guy, whether you're a modified guy, it is back here on iRacing. Speaking of back, well, we'll see if Alex Sierczynski can back up last night's feature win. Heat race number 2. King only the 4th, immediately makes his way to position number 2. Sierczynski back to 3. Hannigan sits in the 4th and final transfer position. But at the moment, Brian Moore Jr. is the battle of the yellow cars. Well, Moore Jr. is going to lead lap number 1.
Moore out in front. Ernie Williams now feeling the pressure from the 23 of Sierczynski. Sierczynski down to the bottom, gives room to the 91. And here comes the 1 of Mason Hannigan. What does he have as he tries to work the bottom lane?
Sierczynski just got into the wall, the exit of turn 2 that allowed Adam Elby in that 74 machine, 3rd quickest in qualifying. And again, one thing to note as well, the winner of this heat race will start outside of the front row in tonight's main event. Sierczynski having a whole lot of trouble here in heat race number 3. Meanwhile, Brian Moore Jr. still your race leader from Old Boomhell. Ernie Williams Jr. King Ernie the 4th as he tries to track him down the back straightaway. Moore still leads by what is about a 1/10 per second. And here comes the little hurricane of Mason Hannigan.
Big moment for Moore there as his internet was having some issues, but it looks like it settles back down. The 91 of Ernie Williams Jr. in second. Mason Hannigan trying to reel these guys in. Fastest lap of this heat race going to Brian Moore at a 13.30 as we ride on board with Mason Hannigan in this shot. Oh my goodness, are they digging hard with 3 laps to go.
There you can see really driving off the left rear in the 1X machine. But again, he's watching his teammate of Ernie Williams Jr. in that 2nd position. It was Ernie Williams Jr. Now he starts to get a move on. Slide jump on the race leader, Brian Moore. So you've got a new leader down the back straight away. Coming to the line flag. King, Ernie the 4th, looking to start outside the front row of tonight's 40-lap main event. He's going to be very tough to beat if he can get this job done in the final lap.
Final time around here in heat race number 3. Ernie Williams through 3 and 4, and he is going to pick up the heat race win. Brian Moore, Mason Hannigan, Alex Sierczynski, all in the top 4. Spencer Putney, Chris Fritz, and William Peters, 6th, 7th, and that is going to do it before I could get through it all.
So Peters will come home 7th, Adam Elby in 8th, Randy Shrees in 9th. But again, reminder, your top 4, Ernie Williams Jr., Brian Moore Jr., Mason Hannigan, and Alex Sierczynski. With Ernie Williams Jr., KR, he starts outside of the front row in tonight's 40-lap main event as we get set for your 4th and final heat race of the night for the 6th annual running of the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal, presented by Natural Carbon Company. From position number 1 will be the Black Diamond Motorsports car number 90 machine of Trevor Royer. He's outside, driving car number 72. That'll be David Smeal Jr. Inside the 2nd row with the 73 car of Larry Moody. He's outside from position number 4, the 15 of Michael Sheridan. 3rd row to the inside with the 13A of Aiden Beerline. He's outside, driving the countryside. Stoven Chimney, car number 01 machine. Kyle Stoltz from position number 6. Position number 7 with the 39 car of Jeffrey Try. And he's outside, the 10 of Jack Young. Out of position number 8. And the 9th and final starter is scheduled to be the 20 car of Jonathan Lowe. As we are ready to start the heat race number 4. The 4th and final heat race, KR, of the 6th annual running of the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal here at the Eldora Speedway.
J-Lo not making it out onto the track just yet. Not sure what's going on with J-Lo. And Jeffrey Try also in that camp. So this heat race, a little bit less sprint cars than what we had planned. Trevor Royer in the 90, going to lead them to the green flag as we're going to go around one more time. I'll tell you what, Brett, that number 90 has a UDTV situation going on there.
Yeah, he's got a big sticker. He's got a big sign, a big UDTV sign on that one. I tell you, I've seen that car go to victory lane multiple times, including earlier on this week on Monday night in the 360 at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Trevor Royer third in the Jokers Wild on night one earlier on this week, and last night was not in attendance, but here we go. Final heat race of the night with Trevor Royer leading the field. Keep an eye on the 13A of Aidan Beerline trying to make his way forward, along with the 15 of Michael Sheridan.
That's trouble into the wall. Michael Sheridan in the 15, hard impact, but he keeps it running and keeps going. Meanwhile, Trevor Royer in the 90 is out into the race lead. David Smeal and Larry Moody running second and third.
Moody, Smeal, side by side as they work through turn 1 and 2 down the back straight. Here comes Beerline to the inside on Moody, and now Beerline going to throw the big, huge Hail Mary slide job in 3 and 4. Smeal tries to turn it back underneath him down into 1. Smeal with a slide job on Beerline. Beerline sees it coming, crosses it over down the back straightaway. Move Beerline to position number 2. 6/10 of a second lead for Trevor Royer over Aidan Beerline. Smeal got a little tight now. He'll lose the 3rd position. He'll go back to 4th, and you've got 3 wide for the 4th and final transfer position. Jack Young turning on Carl Stoltz on the inside.
Trevor Royer trying to check out while Beerline was battling for 2nd place. And right now, David Smeal in that 4th and final transfer spot. But he does have a little bit of pressure from Jack Young, who is working his way forward. Royer, meanwhile, now under pressure, battle for the race lead. Beerline to the race lead for the moment, and they are now trading sliders.
Yeah, you love to see big sliders here at the Eldora Speedway. This is exactly what we're seeing. Beerline back to the inside in turn 1, out of turn 2, it'll be Royer back down to the bottom side with another slide job, and again, these drivers continue to trade sliders. 2 laps left to run here in the final heat race of the night. Royer, Beerline cutbacks down off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Royer, will he go protective mode? He's going to try and go protective mode, but Beerline with a slide up. Here comes Royer looking back to the outside.
I'm not sure who is at the front for the moment. Wow, and now Beerline trying to close the door. Royer slides up and Beerline off at turn number 4. He is going to win the final heat race here tonight. How about that? Trevor Royer, Aidan Beerline, that had to be the best battle for the race win in our heat race sessions.
I actually wanted that one to finish a lap early, because that would have been an absolute outstanding finish in in heat race number 4 as we get set for what should be your B main. But Beerline, Royer, Moody and Young will be all headed to the main event. Smeal, Stoltz and Sheridan, well, they'll be tagging into the back of the B main as we get set. We get ready to do that one now, KR.
All right, as they are lining up, Brett, any inverts, anything?
Negative. I need to straight up the lineup as it is.
All right, perfect. All right, then I'm gonna hit this graphic button. It's, hey, listen. To be honest, you've had 2 nights of practice, and I'm coming in cold.
Not only 2 nights of practice, but I've done 2 broadcasts before this, so I've had 4 broadcasts in 3 days.
Why don't you rub it in a little bit more?
I'll just have practice. That's all it is.
Hey, all right, I'm sorry. I'm a bit rusty on the dirt, but I'm just glad to be here. All right, let me get into our starting lineup for our B main here tonight. Darren Detweiler on the inside of row number 1. Scott Thomason on the outside. Row 2, Spencer Putney and FDS. To the outside, Zach McLaughlin, Richard Preston make up row number 3. Row 4, Chris Fritz and Kyle Stoltz. Row 5, Ryan Scheidt and Brian Moore Sr. Row number 6, William Peters and Massa Sheridan. on the outside of that row. Row number 7, Tyler Isley, John Bragman, and then it is Adam Elby who is going to have to work his way forward very quickly. Jeffrey Try in the outside of row number 8. Row 9, Gary Offit, Joseph Grandy, Randy Shreves, Jonathan Lowe for row 10. Row 11, Cody Terry and Taylor Wineland making up our final few spots here tonight. J-Lo, Cody Terry, and Taylor did not make the call to the grid, and we already have a big dust-up as we came to the green flag. Scott Thomason sideways, Jeffrey Try involved, and it looks like Brian Moore Sr. is also involved off the start of this one. Brett, a big moment there, and man, it seems like the drivers felt the pressure.
Well, if you want to have a chance at winning the Kings Royal, you have to get through this race. And I can tell you, the 72 car of David Smil Jr. just hopped up over the left rear of the 6 car of Scott Thomason, who is, for the second time this week and in the last 3 nights, has found himself in this B main. If I go back to night 1 and the Joker's Wild, he was actually leading the B main. But, you know, with Dirty Old Bastards, they've got a start zone. He actually went before the start zone, and on the next yellow, he actually got penalised 2 spots. So he ended up finishing 3rd in that B main, but he was still able to come through and work his way from 19th to position 15th in the main event. But also David Smil, the direct transfer, he was in the dash on Joker's Wild Night, finished 9th in night number 1. And then last night, he did not make the show. No, he did actually. He finished 24th.
I can't count that high. 24? I only got like 6 toes.
You know, I was actually using your toes. I was visioning your toes and my hands and my toes. So look, we got there in the end.
All right, so the field gonna reset themselves. Lights are still on the Chevy Silverado. Darren Detweiler in the 3D out in front, but it looks like maybe a bit of timing and scoring issue here as they are trying to sort out this field. Oh my, this is gonna be interesting. I do want to point out, J-Lo, Cody Terry, and Taylor Wineland did not make the start, so their race is done and over with. Their bid to become a king will fall a little bit short. Scott Thomason, Joseph Grandy on pit road, but while they try and sort this timing and scoring out, they do have some time to fix those race cars and get back after it. So not sure what happens here, Brett, but bit of a long caution as we try and get the timing and scoring settled.
Yeah, I think race control just going back and just trying to figure out how they restart. Again, a couple of storylines already in this one. Yeah, I've already mentioned the likes of Scott Thomason, David Smil Jr. How about Richie Preston as well? 5th on Joker's Wild Night. Last night in the night before the Kings Roll, he got 9th. He's sitting 5th at the moment in tonight's B main. We go back a little further. Ryan Scheid, pretty sure he was quickest qualifier in tonight's Kings Royal. Didn't get the luck in heat race number 1 as the lights are out, so he's in position number 8. Michael Sheridan, he was fast in qualifying as well. I think I've seen Adam Elby in this one as well. So, I mean, there is a number of storylines to continue on throughout this main event. But it's the 3D, the design metal art 3D of Darren Detweiler. He's going to lead the field back to green, so we'll have 1 down, 11 to go in your 6th annual running of the Kings Royal. Dirty Old Bastards, last chance qualifier. Safety truck is in. KR, we're going back green.
Back to green flag we go. Darren Detweiler in the 3D gets a good launch and pulls out ahead of the rest of this field. And my timing and scoring still showing that Darren Detweiler is ahead by a lap, and now it resets. There we go. That's what I was looking for, as the caution is coming out once again. Not sure what the caution is for. Did you see it?
William Peters. William Peters was trying to get off the racetrack. So just having a look, it was the 11 car just got caught up with him. Zach McLaughlin just got into the wall, and then William Peters, well, he's missing the top wing of that race car. The front end severely bent, and he was just trying to get off the racetrack. Because the front end was busted, he couldn't actually turn that car. So it's the reason why we come under the yellow flag conditions once again. But well, I tell you what, these drivers at the moment in their bid, in their quest to become 6th annual King's Royal winner, the Dirty Old Bastards, presented by Natural Carbon Company. They have to get through this one. It'll be top 8, but 9th on back. We will say goodbye to them as, well, they'll have to do what we're doing, KR. They're just going to have to watch.
Oh my goodness. All right, so a couple cars already finding how difficult this race is. So Thomason, Peters on the pit road, their night is done unless they can get back out here before the green flag comes out. But the lights are out on that Chevy Silverado. Darren Detweiler in the 3D, who has been steadfast at the front here in this B main, once again finds himself in a situation where he could park illegally.
Well, if he does park illegally, he's going to find out. I'll let him know about it. And if he tries to move the concrete wall, he'll also find out that they don't actually move. But here we go. B-Main last chance qualifier back underway. 9 to go. Detweiler leads as now David Smil Jr. looks down to the inside on Spencer Putney through 1 and 2, but Putney's got away on the outside. Here comes McLaughlin. Keep an eye on that 25 car of Richie Preston, trying to move his way forward with the near-active Fritz. Shite along with Stolten. Stolten the final transfer position, but here comes Michael Sheridan now trying to take that spot away.
Sheridan working his way on the inside. He dives down to the bottom, slides up. Can he make it? Stick contact, and oh my goodness, the 0-1 of Kyle Stoltz had to battle through that contact, and he keeps it going. But Michael Sheridan into 8th place. He is our biggest mover here in the B main. Adam Elby also trying to come through the field as Darren Detweiler is your race leader.
Detweiler continuing to pull away from the field. Behind the Leo 10 for the second. Oh, Ryan Shine out of shape in turns 3 and 4. Adam Elby now gets 2 for the price of 1. Move Elby up to position number 7. Then you go back. Look at Sheridan. Shine trying to make it work on the inside as he goes back upstairs. 4 laps remaining. Well, yeah, 4 to go for your race leader of Detweiler. The second lead, but watching still Sheridan trying to hold off Ryan Shite. Both drivers were very quick in qualifying. They just weren't able to get through the heats. And well, Ryan Shite is on the verge of not making tonight's main event.
Imagine being your quick time qualifier but not making it to the A main as Adam Elby continues his march forward. In the 74, he is laying down some very fast lap times. He has just 2 more times around to get into the A main, and he is getting it done. He is inside the top 5, and Darren Detweiler continues the race lead. Final time around for the 3D. Detweiler
through 3 and 4. Checkered flag is out. He will transfer to your 6th annual King's Royal, presented by Dirty Old Bastards and Natural Carbon Company for 40 laps later on tonight. As your results will be official here in just a few moments' time. Darren Detweiler going to get the win from Spencer Putney in 2nd, Zach McLaughlin in 3rd, Adam Elby 4th, David Smil Jr. in 5th, Chris Fritz in 6th, 7th will go to Richie Preston, and that 8th and final transfer spot is going to be Ryan Shite. Unfortunately for Michael Sheridan, Tyler Isley, those drivers are going to be the first 2 cars to miss out. Joseph Grady misses out in 11th, Randy Shreves, Kyle Stoltz, Scott Thomason, Gary Offit in 15th, Jeffrey Try in 16th, John Bragman, William Peters, and Brian Moore, senior position number 19. Now, unfortunately, we had 3 cars that did not make the start of tonight's B-Main. But KR, everything is done except one race, and that race is to determine who will be and who will be crowned the King's Royal winner for the 6th time in Dirty Old Bastards history, presented by Natural Carbon Company. And we have got the greatest sight in all of motorsport heading out onto the racetrack.
Nothing says sights like the 410 sprint cars heading out on Eldora's illustrious dirt track. Oh my goodness, here we go. Because Brett, I don't know about you, but if you ever see this track in person, it's one thing to see it here 4 wide in the iRacing world, but it's another to see it entirely in person. So Brett, I hope you get here someday.
I'd love to get there someday, trust me. You have no idea how much I actually want to get to America. But right now, as the drivers roll around in the greatest sight in all of motorsport, this is a simple salute to you, the race fans, a show of respect for everyone tuning in live on Turn 3 Racing Network and live on Ultimate Dirt TV for the 6th annual running of the Dirty Old Bastards King's Royal, presented by Natural Carbon Company. You will not find a better sight in all of motorsport as they salute to you, the race fans. They are 4 wide, KR, off turn number 4.
This is the biggest salute that you can get as a race fan, and it not only is the biggest and most sought after salute, but each and every time that I see it, I get chills. It doesn't matter if it's cartoon racing, it doesn't matter if it's real racing, it doesn't matter where it's at. I get chills every time I see the 4 wide salute.
Yeah, again, like I said, there is no better sight in all of motorsports than a 4 wide salute. And you just know right now, as these drivers roll around, this is the calm before the storm, because, well, while they're rolling around, it's just, yeah, you know what, we're rolling around, there's nothing to worry about at the moment. But once we get into the race, then it becomes who is going to get the job done, who is going to put 40 laps together. You don't even have to put 40 laps together. You can only put 1 perfect lap together as long as you are near the front and in the race lead. It's just the final lap that counts. That 40th lap is going to be the difference maker here tonight.
All right, as they let them loose. Oh, contact between a few drivers. Ooh. All right, well, there you have it. Now we move on to the biggest moment here tonight. So, Brett, you know, I'm coming in late to this. I'm doing everything I can to keep up with you. But you've been here this entire week. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about what has been going on here and kind of what we should expect out of tonight's A-Main?
Real simple, 2 and 3 wide racing, a lot of slide jobs. Drivers have to save their tires, save their equipment. Night 1, we seen Mason Hannigan in what was a green-white checker finish. It was Aiden Beerline's race. He had that race pretty much locked up in the bag. We went 23, 24 laps of green flag before a couple of late race cautions. And then it was Mason Hannigan to pounce, and he picked up the win by 0.025 of a second on Joker's Wild Night. Night number 2 last night, Alex Zazinski. Well, once he got to the front, he was pretty much dominant in that get-go. From that, even from the few restarts that we had, he was pretty much untouchable. Vinny Sansone, Chad Griggs, they put up a valiant effort. Even Aiden Beerline, who was pretty much non-existent up until those last probably 5 or 6 laps, ended up getting a top 5 finish. So when it comes to main events in the last 2 nights, Beerline's 2nd and 5th. He's got the momentum and the speed to get through this one. But just quickly, let's go through your starting lineup. Just a little bit of a change in the starting position. So starting position number 1 is going to be Aiden Beerline. Position number 2, Ernie Williams Jr. Position number 3 is going to be Nathan Davis. Position number 4 will be Chad Griggs. And you go back to position number 5, and well, it'll be right from here on out. Position 5 with Vinny Sansone, John Batista out of 6. Row 4 is going to be Brian Moore Jr. and Trevor Royer. Row 5, Josh Whiteman alongside Alex Bergeron. Row 6, Mason Hannigan and Larry Moody. Row 7, Joshua Piquel and Tyler Shell. Row 8, Alex Szynski and Jack Young. Row 9, Darren Detweiler and Spencer Putney. Row 10, Zach McLaughlin and Adam Elby. Row 11, David Smeal Jr. and Chris Fritz. And the final row, 24 starters, Richie Preston and Ryan Scheidt will make up this field. And we are ready to go racing. Kings Royal, 6th annual running of the Kings Royal for the Dirty Old Bastards. KR, we're about to go racing. We're about to crown a king. Will it be a first-time winner, or will we see Ernie Williams Jr., John Batista, or Mason Hannigan? Will they be crowned a second-time Kings Royal winner?
Aiden Berline in the 13 has something to say about that. Will he find a way to lead the final lap and win this race? Green flag is out. We are underway here tonight in the 6th annual Kings Royal, presented by Natural Carbon, and Aiden Berline gets that early jump, and here we go, Brett. They are all over the track behind Berline.
Well, and again, we go back to Jacob's Wild Night. He was super quick. He had a 3-second lead, and that was again in 23-24 laps. But there's a lot of stiff competition here tonight in trying to become the 6th annual Kings Royal champion. Meanwhile, Batista has now gotten up behind the back of the 27 car of Chad Griggs. Griggs in 3rd position, Batista in 4th. Keep an eye on Alex Bergeron, rounding out your top 5. Nathan Davis, but Berline still your race leader. Bergeron puts the move on Griggs, and Griggs now just going to slip back to what is position number 5 as he comes at 24 of Josh Whiteman down to the outside.
Whiteman works his way to the outside, trying to work his way forward. He's up 3 spots from where we started him. And right now, Aiden Berline just laid down the fastest lap of this race at a 13.69. So Berline out in front, trying to spread open that gap that Ernie Williams Jr. would like to close down. But Berline is your race leader and continues to charge ahead.
Yeah, almost a second lead for Aiden Berline in that 13A machine. Watching right now a 3-car battle between the teammates Trevor Royer, Mason Hannigan and Nathan Davis. Davis just at the moment, well, sitting in position number 10. Hannigan just rolling the inside of the racetrack. And you've got to think that that's a play from Mason Hannigan right now. Just rolling the inside of the racetrack, saving those tyres, letting everybody burn up the tyres, hoping that they get a late race caution. Meanwhile, there's a battle on for 3rd and 4th. Alex Bergeron throws a slider on King John the 1st of John Batista. Batista goes back to the inside now. Batista, he'll throw the slider on Bergeron down into turn number 3 and 4. In fact, stays in the middle of the racetrack. Bergeron back to the outside, 30 to go.
Batista maybe needs to take a lesson from Mason Hannigan, who is running that bottom slow and smooth, but maybe not fast enough, because Alex Bergeron does take over the spot from John Batista. So the 12 up into 3rd place. We're working lap number 13, now making lap 14. And Bergeron sets his sights on 2nd place. Ernie Williams Jr. up on the high side. What can he do to keep the 13 behind him? Berline trying to set sail, and the yellow flag comes out. We have our first caution of the night.
Tyler Shell in the number 1 machine. Getting caught up with Alex Szynski. Contact on the front stretch, and Darren Detweiler come in, nowhere to go for Detweiler. And the right rear caught the left front, and Tyler Shell, well, he'll go back to the pits, and that will pretty much end his night. So he will take no further part in this main event in the 6th annual running of the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal, presented by Natural Carbon Company. There we go, 12 laps in, and our first caution comes out. And you got to wonder again, it's not too early to talk about tyre saving just yet, because we've still got 28, make it 27 to go once we go back green. But man, Beerline really setting a tremendous and fast pace out in front.
On board with the 33 of Joshua Piquel, and the inside joke is, well, all the misspellings that are possible with Piquel's name that make it just funny and fun and everything that that DOB is. These dirty old bastards, they'll take every opportunity to poke somebody in the chest. So Piquel, right now, he's got some work to do to find himself in contention for this win. Aiden Berline out in front. Ernie Williams, Alex Bergeron, your top three right now.
Lights are out, going back green, 27 to run, 13 complete. Main event time. Will we see one of three drivers get their second King's Royal Crown, or will be one of the other 21 drivers, will they get their first? Only time will tell. Beerline along with Williams. Beerline goes through the middle. Bergeron now trying to throw the big move there on Williams down into turn number 3 and 4. Could not complete the pass. He was not quite close enough, but still watching that 91 machine of Ernie Williams Jr. closing in right now on Beerline. Boy, I tell you what, it looks like a whole different race right now, because with that yellow that came out, that now closes up that door between Beerline and Williams.
Checking back a little bit further in the field, John Batista in 4th place right now. Chad Griggs rounding out your top 5. These guys have a little bit of work to do. Mason Hannigan, meanwhile, who has been running that bottom slow and steady, he's got 24, making 23 laps to go, and that car so far has not really set a tire wrong, and he might have something to say if everything goes his way, because that driver is being slow and smooth and still working his way forward. But Aiden Berline is your race leader.
Hannigan just seen him just jump to the top into turn number 1 and 2, seeing what kind of pace he has got. He'll go top 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4 again, just trying to see what he can produce in that 1X machine. Last lap time for Mason Hannigan was a 14.181. That is roughly 2.5 tenths slower than the race leader. Meanwhile, Bergeron put the move on Ernie Williams Jr. We're halfway home, KR. 20 down, 20 to go. Beerline halfway in becoming a King's Royal winner.
Aiden Berline has been out in front from the drop of the green flag. And you mentioned it, we are halfway home, but what is needing to be said, we only had one caution in the first half, but as we get closer to the end of this race, everyone starts getting a little bit more desperate, trying to make something happen. Berline doesn't want to see a caution. Right now, the top 3 are all sitting in that stagnation that I like to call, where they have settled in.
I'm just still keeping an eye right now on that 1X machine of Hannigan, but watching Josh Wyman battle with Chad Griggs for a 5th and 6th place finish at the moment. Griggs has got 5th as it sits. Then you go back to Josh Wyman in that 6th position. As I said, go back to night 1, Joker's wild. Chad Griggs, 22nd to position number 11 in the main event. And then last night, he was in the dash, ended up finishing 3rd in last night's feature event. So he's shown a whole lot of speed this week. Is that 27 car of Chad Griggs. And just as I talk about that, and Josh Wyman had a top 5 car last night. Now comes the 1X machine of Mason Hannigan. 15 making 14 to go for your race leader up turn number 4.
Riding on board with Vanny Sansone on the high side as he battles with the 90 of Trevor Royer. These guys have some work cut out for them if they want to get to the front of the field, because Aiden Berline continues to lead this race. The 13 out in front, and he is getting that right rear just an inch off the wall, and that is where you need to be for all the speed that Eldora can give you. Now we are getting down to the nitty-gritty here. 12 laps to go.
Boy, watching Adam Elby come through the field as well. Elby almost up inside the top 10 as Royer throws a slider on Sansone. Here comes Jack Young now, and you've got a 4-car battle for positions 8, 9, 10, and 11. Young to the middle of the racetrack. getting by Trevor Royer. 10 laps left to run. Next time by for your race leader of Aidan Burline. 3/4 of this race is complete, and we are in heavy lap traffic. He's got 1/8 of a second lead back to the teammate of Alex Bergeron.
Bergeron trying to close in on the 13, but that 13's got that sniff of fresh air, has all that speed going for him. So far, no one has gotten in his way. He continues to run on that high side. Bergeron closing in just a little bit. Bergeron, best lap at a 13.62. Burline's best lap at a 13.69. So a little bit faster from the 13. Here he comes. He closed in big time through 3 and 4.
Well, 2 laps ago, he was a 10th quicker. That last lap, he was a 1/4 of a second quicker. And with the lap cars, Bielan has now had to change his line. He gets to the inside, now goes to the bottom, 3 wide with 2 lap cars. He leaves the top side open. Here comes Bergeron. You've got a challenge for the race lead. Heavy in the lap traffic. Merlot looking to slide up in front of Piquel, the 33 machine, but no. Piquel back to the outside, shutting the door with Berline. Berline looking to throw the move there on Piquel. Does so. Now puts that 1 lap car between himself and Bergeron. Doesn't matter because here comes Bergeron down to the inside. 5 to go in your King's Royal main event.
Oh, contact with the 12 of Bergeron and lap traffic, and that could be all that Berline needs to catch his breath. Both drivers had to navigate through that lap traffic, and both of them get it done, but Berline just a little bit better as he is pulled ahead. Caution flag is out, and it is all for naught.
Wow. Wow. Man, I go back, I can think of the Joker's Wild Night. Night 1, earlier on this week, we had a caution with 5 and then 3 to go. We now get a caution with 4, which will essentially make it 3 to go. This was the time where Mason Hannigan pounced a couple of nights ago. Of course, now we take the lap traffic out of it. But now you look at Aidan Burline, Alex Bergeron, Ernie Williams Jr., John Batista, and Mason Hannigan. Any one of those 5 drivers can get the win here tonight. And we talk about those 5 drivers. 3 of them, Ernie Williams Jr., John Batista, Mason Hannigan, they've all tasted success in this King's Royal main event so far throughout the 5 seasons. You've got Aidan Burline, Alex Bergeron. They are looking to get their first King's Royal crown with Dirty Old Bastards. But not only that, you go to Pro Series. All 5 of these drivers have been in Sprint Car World Championship competition, so you know they are at the top of their game.
Man, I'll tell you what, Aidan Burline, Alex Bergeron at the front of the field. You ain't wrong, these guys are at the top of their game, and we just saw it as they had to work through lap traffic, and both of these guys navigated it very well. Burline didn't lose the race lead. Bergeron did close the gap, and that's all you need to know about each of these drivers as they work through lap traffic. They each held their own, and I'll tell you what, when I was looking at that lap traffic, all I had to think about was about how if I was out there, I probably would have died.
Well, the question becomes tires. Who's got enough tires to get through what will be the final 3 laps? Lights are out here at the virtual Eldora Speedway. It is Aidan Burline's race to win, but also it is his race to lose. He has got a hungry Alex Bergeron. He's also got King Ernie the 4th, King John the 1st, and King Mason the 5th, looking to become repeat winners here with the King's Royal and Dirty Old Bastards. KR, 3 to go.
All right, here we go. Only 2 cautions in this race so far. Green flag is out. Burline stays to the high side. Bergeron tried to chop the bottom of the exit off of 4, and it looks like Burline going to open up a gap down the backstretch. They're going to get 2 to go this time around.
Has Mason Hannigan got enough in the tank? He is up to third. He's picked off Batista and Williams. Now sets his sights on Bergeron. They'll make their way through turn 3 and 4. Hannigan looking to the outside on Bergeron. White flag is out. 1 lap left to go. Aiden Beerline. Bergeron throwing the slider on Hannigan. Hannigan gets around the outside, gets into the wall. It's not going to matter. Final time. But for turn 3 and 4, King Aiden Beerline, the 6 is going to win the main event. Aiden Beerline, he's finally going to do it. He has been so close all week long. He got pipped at the line on night 1 by 0.25 of a second. He had to work tirelessly in the last 5 and 6 laps of last night's main event, but he is now going to become a first-time King's Royal winner with Dirty Old Bastards. He is known as now King Aiden the 6th.
Aiden Beerline with an outstanding drive, led every single lap here in tonight's A main. But how about Mason Hannigan coming from deep in the field to finish second? I was watching that car. Man, I know you were as well there, Brett, because he had something there at the end.
It goes back to those first 25 laps of that race where he was just rolling the inside, saving those tires. I seen it on Joker's Wild Night, and he was so close, just shy of 0.2 of a second on backing up last year's feature win in the 5th running of the King's Royal. But now the 6th running of the King's Royal, your official results: King Aiden Beerline will get the win. King Mason the 5th will come home second. 3rd is going to be Alex Bergeron. 4th is Ernie Williams Jr. 5th will be John Batista. 6th is going to go to Chad Griggs. Josh Whiteman in 7th. Adam Elby in 8th. 9th will go to Vinny Sansone. Alex Sosinski, last night's feature winner in the night before the King's Royal, will come home in position number 10. 11th is going to be Jack Young. Zach McLaughlin in 12th. Nathan Davis 13th. Richie Preston 14th. Larry Moody 15th in the last car on the lead lap. Chris Fred to lap down in 16th. David Smeal Jr. in 17th. Joshua Paquel 18th. Brian Moore Jr. Spencer Putney rounds out the top 20. Trevor Royer 21st. Darren Detweiler 22nd. Tyler Shell 23rd. And Ryan Shine in position number 24. KR, I tell you what, I'm going to let you do 1st and 3rd, but let's go down to 3rd place first with Alex Bergeron.
All right, we have Alex Bergeron in the booth with us here, and he does bring it home in 3rd place. Alex, a solid run for you, but man, tell us a little bit about what you were seeing out there, because you did have some work to do to get to the front, and it wasn't easy.
No, it was not too bad. Feel like made some mistakes in the heat race and didn't really make the best call there for adjusting. So it was not too bad. Just made a few mistakes myself. So had to work on that a little bit. So I started 10th, I think, and we made our way up a little bit to the front. It was not too bad. We actually did a quick run to the front, a couple early laps. But then just was able to hang on there and had good battles up front, and with my teammate Aiden. He did such a great job in this race, so he really deserves it. After all the last 2 nights, I think he definitely deserves it. So congrats to him and our team for a good run tonight.
All right, Alex. Well, solid showing for the team, for yourself here at Eldora and the 6th annual Dirty Old Bastards King Royal. Shout outs, thank yous that you'd like to give?
Definitely just our team. Just super grateful of everything we've accomplished and what we keep on accomplishing, and especially with Aiden there, just very, very good. So very, very happy for him to get the win tonight, and as a team also just a good run. So that's really all I got to say. I'm very grateful for our team, and everyone supports me, and all the team and all our partners are behind us every day to help us reach our goals. So thank you.
All right, that is Alex Bergeron, driver of the number 12, bringing it home in 3rd place. And now we move on to our 2nd place finisher. And Brett, I believe you've caught up with him.
Yeah, standing by the 1X machine of Mason Hannigan. Mason, Go back 2 nights ago, 0.025 a second. You stole that one away from me. The last restart, make the 3 laps to go, and this time it was 0.176 of a second. That was close, but man, not close enough for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was. I hate run second, but I can't be too mad. I kind of put that one on myself, and I'll put it on myself because I kind of caused it. But I mean, it's just so hard starting 11th. Just buried myself. I wish I'd have ran second there. I wish I'd have got the car there on the last lap. I think it'd have made a big difference. And I needed a caution with like 5 to go, not 3. I figured we were going to be the fastest car the last few laps once the caution came out, because I knew, like, it doesn't matter when we're under green. Like, everybody's got heat in the tire, and everybody's fine. Everybody's running, maybe a little bit slower, not much, but as soon as the caution comes out and everybody cools off, man, it just makes a whole different ballgame. And I ripped around there and I passed Alex, and I was just like, okay, well, I just got going too late. Yeah, I just conserved too early. I mean, I felt like the bottom was okay. I knew it was a long race, but it felt short, and just took too long to get up. And I don't even think it mattered because of how far back I started, and even where the field was and how strung out it got. So, I think the only thing that would have saved me there is maybe a caution with 5 or 6 to go, like I said. But other than that, Aiden pretty much had to lock that. Aiden and Alex, I don't know where they were at, before the caution came out, but. I don't know who was leading. I don't know who led in what lap, but I just know I wish we would have started up front, because it sucks running second. But hey, we did last year at the 14 Nationals, so it is what it is. Second's all right.
Right, King Mason the 5th, and now runner-up here tonight. Second place finish at the 6th annual running of the Kings Royal. Mason, before we let you go, sponsors, shout-outs, who makes this happen for you in the Waynex car to get around?
Yeah, I can't think of all the boys at Black Diamond. It was a fun week. I missed last night, but yeah, it just sucks a little bit. But he did a hell of a job up front, and he couldn't have done anything else. But yeah, I can't think of all the boys at Black Diamond. Tim Sims, Tim Nichols, UDTV, Velocity Race Designs, all the boys at DOB. KR, I see KR's in here. Brett, all you boys for broadcasting it, and yeah, we'll take the second, and we'll move on to the. I don't know if we'd call July the month of money or August the month of iRacing, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the Nationals, the Ironman, and all that, Capitania and all that stuff. So we'll be back in August.
There we go. Mason Hannigan, your runner-up here tonight in the 6th annual running of the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal, presented by Natural Carbon Company. And well, you've got a bunch of people that missed outside of the podium. You've got a couple of guys on the podium, but only one guy stands atop at the end of the night. KR, you are caught up with our first-time Kings Royal winner. It is known as King Aiden the 6th.
Aiden Burline, King Aiden Burline the 6th. Congratulations, man. You have done it. You have got it all right. Now that crown is heavy that sits atop the head of the leader. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, last 2 nights we just had really bad events happen to us, and just stuff never went our way with the pill draw and stuff. And it's nice to have a 4-car lead invert, which put us on the pole, and we could just drive away from there.
Well, man, nice job in getting it done here tonight. This number 13 didn't really ever set a tire wrong here tonight. Mason kind of stole it from you just a little bit earlier in the week, and he tried to sneak one in again here tonight as he came home second, but Burline, that 13 said, no, we're going to be 6th.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it's nice to see what we can do without damage. I think I had a little bit of damage the first race, which I think let Hannigan be like a 10th or 2 quicker, and he got me in the first, I think it was a Joker race, and tonight we didn't have damage. Still got to work on a couple things, though, back at the shop, but we'll keep on improving and be back for future events.
All right, so Mr. Burline, Mr. King Burline the 6th, I do want to take a moment and allow Chris Roberts, the head honcho here at Dirty Old Bastards, to say what he needs to say. So, gentlemen, Mr. Roberts, take it away.
Yeah, congrats, Aiden. You know, you will now be King Aiden Berlin the sixth for next year's King's Roll events. And you get to be king for a whole year. That was a great run. You know, like you said, you dominated pretty much there. You know, your teammate Alex caught you in lap traffic. That looked like it was going to get real interesting. Then you found a hole and kind of sneaked away. And then that late race restart, I was seeing deja vu all over again with Tuesday night. And I got, you know, Mason took care of those tires and really helped them late. And I got to give it to you guys. You know, the 2 races Mason was in this week, it come down to you two. You guys put on one heck of a show, and the margin of victory between the two for the 2 races is like 0.2 of a second, you know, but you know, with the 2 races combined. So that's freaking amazing. Great race, and congrats.
Yeah, thank you, man. The racing's been amazing this week. Been a blast.
All right, well, there you have it. Aiden, congratulations. Who do you have to thank? What do you need to say from here to wrap this up for yourself, as you are our 6th Dirty Old Bastards King Royal winner?
Well, first off, I got to thank, as always, Jesus Christ. Also, my mom for watching every single race. And I mean, shoot, even a couple hours before the event, we'll be talking about the event. She supports me week in and week out, and I can't thank her enough for that. Team ABR Sub Shop, and y'all have put on an amazing event.
All right, Aiden. Well, thank you very much. I think you have said enough and gotten it all done here tonight. So once again, man, congratulations. Enjoy that crown, because someone's coming for it next year.
We'll be ready.
All right, Aiden Berline, King Aiden Berline the 6th. Nice job getting it done here tonight. Brett, Chris, guys, we have a new ruler here at Eldora.
Well, he's been the man to beat all week. Again, we go back to starting off with the Jokers Wild, the quick qualified that one. Was winning the feature, much like what he did tonight. He had go back to Joker's Wild Night. I'm pretty sure it was like a 3-second lead. We had a caution come out with about 7 to go, a couple of late cautions, and unfortunately he got pipped at the line there by Hannigan, who again saved his tires right up until those final few laps there and needed it as to where it count. And that gap was 0.025 of a second from memory. So yeah, he wanted to come back last night and get some revenge on the field in the night before the King's Roll. Done the exact same thing in qualifying. Went out there and absolutely blitzed him by over 1/10 of a second in qualifying. It was the heat racing version again of 8 last night, and unfortunately he couldn't come through. He ended up finishing 8th in the heat, which meant he had to come through the B main. Ended up getting the win in the B main. Only led 2 laps, but ended up putting nearly 0.6 of a second on that field in 2 laps. And again, that's no slouch in Richie Preston either. I know for the most part of last night's main event, he just rolled around, had some damage early on, had some bad luck. And then every time there was a caution come out, he just went to the pits, kept getting the damages fixed little by little, having to work through the field, and then made a late charge towards a top 5 last night. And you just knew that he was always going to be one to watch here tonight. And what he was able to do in lap traffic as well, KR, along with battling with Alex there for the race lead, and you go to those last 3 laps where honestly I thought deja vu was happening in Joker's Wild Night on Tuesday night. Was happening all over again. So, but you know what? Hats off to Aiden. He is now King Aiden the 6th, and as he said, he's going to be ready next year. Come the 7th annual running. I tell you what. I know we're going to be ready as well, and I'm already looking forward to that one.
Yeah, when we come down to it, that number 13 really said enough with his performance here tonight, that dominating, leading every lap. And man, I'll tell you, you talked about it, working through lap traffic there. He and Alex Bergeron running very close to each other. Both had to slice and dice through it, and it was all they could do to get through it. And both of them saw the opportunities in that moment. Both of them understood what it took, and Aiden Berline was able to hold on to this outstanding finish and come out on top. So Brett, Chris, gentlemen, for me, I think I've said everything I can.
Yeah, it's been a great week. You know, Brett did a great recap there. It's just been great. Had 30 plus cars every night, 38 first night, 30 last night, which, you know, had some other things going on, had the outlaw race going on too. 38 went back up to 38 tonight. Still had some missing because the Outlaws rescheduled their show at Baps tonight. So, you know, if it wasn't for that, we could have had 45, 50 cars probably. But regardless, racing was great all week. Last night, like I said in the write-up, you know, it's kind of like the Joker stuck around last night and played some jokes on everybody. This is a little hard one last night, but great racing. You know, 2 great finishes between Aiden and Mason. And, you know, that's setting us up for some great 360 national action, Ironman, DOB Classic, and some 410 national action in August. And we'll have both of you back up in there in the booth, you know, off and on throughout those events. So thanks to you guys for working together tonight and this week, making it all happen. Thanks to Natural Carbon Company for making all the special events pre-broadcasted this year. Tim Sims is in talks, you know, so gonna get Tim on board here for the August events, and we'll see if we can top the King's Roll in August.
All right, man.
It's going to be a tough. Certainly, I was going to say it's going to be a tough one to. It's going to be a tough one to top, but we certainly look forward to having you watch live on Turn 3 Racing Network and on Ultimate Turn 3. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you sign us off for tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for joining us. On behalf of myself, Brett Wheeler from Ultimate Dirt TV, myself being Turn 3 Racing Network, and Chris Roberts. Hold on, I gotta check my notes. He's a dirty old bastard. That is Chris Roberts. Thank you very much for letting us have fun and poke at you here tonight. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, women, everyone involved, thank you so much for being here tonight. And I do look forward to August when we get to do this once again. So until then, y'all stay safe and have a great night.